Hi there, this is Niki Rowland and today I am designing for Hip Kit Club, and I am using the main kit only. That's the February kit, and I'm only using that. Other than adding a piece of white cardstock, I have stuck to just using the main kit. And my assignment for this week was to use border punches and layers. So my border punches are a little bit neglected. I haven't used them for quite some time. I don't know why, because I really like them. Actually, I love the effect that they do. So what I'm just doing there is I'm testing out a few scallops, different shaped scallops, to see if they will layer nicely on top of each other. So I've just chosen a piece of cream cardstock, and I'm just like an offcut, and I was just testing out those punches there to see what they would look like. I was quite happy with the effect. And now I'm going to fussy cut out all of these circles from the Pinkfresh Studio Joyful Day paper there. It's such a pretty paper with all those lovely circles and wreaths on them. So they're very large, so I decided I wasn't sure how many I would use on one page, but I thought I'd cut out all of the whole ones and a couple of part ones as well, just to see how it looked. And as you can see, I'm kind of going with a vertical design. I think I play around with a horizontal one at one point as well, but the vertical is the way to go for me anyway. So yeah, I'm just fussy cutting around those. I'm leaving a decent white border so that I don't have to get into all the detail too much, and I really like the way that they look. And now I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to put my my border punched edges. Do I want to put them down the side, or do I want to put them across the top, or the top and the bottom? And in the end I decided to go across the top and the bottom. So you'll notice there that I started my punching in the middle. If you're not that familiar with border punches, this is a great tip. Start in the middle and then work over each side. So once you've punched the first time in the middle, then go and punch the remainder on one side, then punch the remainder on the other side. And the reason for this is because that way you will end up with the same scallop on each end. So that is the perfect way to do that. So that works for any border punch that has those guides on. You can see there that I'm cut in the middle, and then I'm just lining up with the guide on the side of the punches in order to make it work all the way along. So I've chosen 3 papers to layer up for the top and the bottom, and one is the Pinkfresh Studio, the minty coloured one with leaves all over it. It's so pretty. Then there's another one with globes on it, and now that is from the Out and About collection by Pinkfresh too, but they were a bit similar in colour, so I initially decided to go with that side, but in the end I turn over and use the side that's white with a script on it, and actually that looked better. And then I have the really the blue there, the really solid blue that I use with the smallest scallop, and that's the strip at the top and the bottom. So I'm just repeating that for the top of the layer and the bottom of the layout, and trying to make sure that my strips are even in size as well. And I'm also folding up the edges a little bit, so roughing them up so that they look like they have some dimension, so they kind of stand up a little bit. I could go along and put foam pads under each scallop, which is something I did consider, but in the end, by folding them a little bit, that works. It gives enough dimension to make them look nice. You probably can't appreciate it from the video too much, or even from the flat photographs, but in real life it looks lovely. So yeah, I'm just getting those all stuck in, all sorted and stuck, and I'm going to get them stuck in place in a minute as well. So you can see I'm just folding up those edges there, and I'm layering them so that I've got the largest scallop in the middle of the layout, and then a slightly smaller one, and then a really little one on the blue strip. And I'm going to have my circles kind of appearing out of them, or coming out from underneath those strips. So I'm now just going to get my circles stuck in place, and then I can get my strips stuck down over the top. So that's what I'm just doing there. Okay, so that's the bottom stuck down, and now I'm going to get the top strips stuck down too. Just repeating exactly the same as what I did for the other one at the bottom, and you know, making them have a little bit of dimension as well. So that's looking pretty, and obviously I've got my circle tucked in at the top. I'm then going to stick my 2 other circles in place as well, although I just want to make sure that I have a nice little cluster going on under my photograph there. So I'm pulling out some of these lovely Pinkfresh Studio frames. These are the Everyday Musings collection frames, and I'm pulling out the blue tones. Obviously I've got a bit of a blue theme going on for this layout, so I've pulled out 2 frames there from those chipboard frames, and I've layered those underneath my photo. I just felt that my photo needed something around it. It needed a little border. I didn't want to be too bright. I didn't want to bring in that dark blue again because I've got those frames, but I just needed something. So I've chosen that paper that's got like the globes or the circles on it from the Out and About collection, and that's just mounted my photo. And then I'm just sticking down the bottom some little bits. I wanted a little cluster down there, a cluster at the top, and then I'll probably have a cluster on the bottom right of my photo. That seems to be a natural place to put it. So down the bottom there, I've just used the little sticker that says magical, and I've also put in a little flower sticker as well. I'm now fussy cutting out some hearts from the crepe paper La La Love paper that has those lovely hearts all over it. There's a few blue ones on there, so I've pulled those out, just cutting out a few of them. I think I've got about 5 in total. I love that they have slightly different patterns on them, and I'm going to use those as extra embellishments on this layout. So I've got those fussy cut out there, and I'm just going to cluster them around, spread them around on the layout. I think I used 6 actually in total. Yeah, I do. So I want them kind of to look like they're floating up, but everywhere I put them didn't seem to look natural. So it took me a little while to get those in the right place. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my title. So I've got a reasonably long title that I want to add for this layout. So I need to go and get that in place before I add too much more embellishments to this layout. Otherwise I'm going to run out of room. I appreciate I've got lots of space over to the right hand side of my photo, but I still need my title to flow and look right with the photo and the embellishment clusters there. So I feel that that needs to go in place now. So you can see that I've gone down at the bottom of the layout there. This alphabet set is quite curly. This is the Pinkfresh Studio Joyful Day collection. Lovely alphas, but they're quite, some of them have got long tails and are quite curly, so they can be a little bit challenging sometimes to get in the right place, especially when you have a long title and you have lots of ascenders or descenders. So I'm just playing around with the arrangement here, and it didn't look right down the bottom. I wasn't happy with the way that the T's fitted in, so this is much better. The T you can see there at the top for these fits just over the top of that frame, which is lovely actually. It just looks like it was meant to be there. So I'm really happy now that those are in place. I'm happy with that positioning, and so therefore I'm going to go ahead and stick down the rest of my layout. So I just need to get those frames in place, those circles stuck down, the photo stuck down, and then I'll be able to finish off the layout really. So now that I've got all of those main elements in position, I can then stick everything down and start adding the rest of the embellishments. So I ended up sticking that top blue frame in slightly the wrong place. It was sticking out a bit further up than what I would have liked. So I'm just kind of just fiddling with that, moving it around a bit, and it just didn't quite look right. It just didn't, I don't know, it looked fine when I had it as a, just sat down as a cluster, but it just didn't look right. So in the end I've added another small frame from the same pack, the Everyday Musings chipboard frames, and you'll see me add that in a minute to balance out that large blue frame on that top corner of the photo there. It just doesn't, you can see it there, I don't know, it went wrong when I stuck it down, it just didn't look right. So yeah, I needed something up there as well to balance it out. There we go, I'm adding it there, you can see that there, and that looks much better. It totally balances it out a lot more. Okay, so now just finishing off the final touches, I'm adding in those hearts, getting those stuck in place. I'm sticking down that wooden button, and then I'm also going to add some machine stitching, which I've just done there. I've gone along the bottom of my layout the blue scallop at the bottom, and I've done the same at the top, so that I've just got some white, couple of rows of white stitching along there. And then I've also gone through those Pinkfresh Studio alphabets too. I worry that they will fall off. They're lovely stickers, but the glue they're just never good enough, are they? I think foam is always the best because it's pliable, whereas anything that's a bit harder, like chipboard, or even these ones which are kind of puffy, they ping off as the layouts bend. So I tend to sew them in place or stick them down with glossy accents. So that's what I did there. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed making this layout. I love the way it's turned out, even though I was stuck with the main kit only. I think it worked out really well. So thank you again for joining me. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.